Well, the county wants to build a new jail on the southeast side of Bloomington, but for that to happen, the City Plan Commission will have to rezone the nearly 90-acre plot in Bloomington. The city aired its concerns this week in the first of two planned hearings. Pat Bean has this report.
The need for a new county jail isn't in dispute. The nearly 40-year-old structure in downtown Bloomington occupies 3 stories in the Justice Center, has no room for expansion, and its design is out of date. A 2019 study estimated it would cost $50 million to refurbish the jail, pretty much the cost of a new one.
I was probably the last holdout on the Board of Commissioners because I don't want to build a new jail. But there are some things you can fix and some things you can't. We have kept it together. We have updated it. We have renovated it as we can. It's past its life.
In July, the county commissioners approved the purchase of a nearly 90-acre site on the northeast corner of I-69 and West Fullerton Pike. It meets one requirement of being within the city limits, but the county needs to have the property rezoned as mixed-use institutional before it can move forward. It's currently zoned for mixed-use employment, which does not allow for a jail or detention facility. It's up to the Plan Commission to approve rezoning the property.
We do have some concerns about this particular map amendment request and how it does or does not align with the comprehensive plan.
The city's 4 main concerns focused on environmental considerations, site access, site design, and the fact that no bus lines go to the site. Thomas says having public transportation to the jail was vital to the project, and that preliminary talks with Bloomington Transit have occurred about adding routes if the jail is built.
We're certainly never going to be putting this forward and moving forward and building a single thing until we know we have adequate, more than adequate transportation lined up.
Jeff Cockerell, the county's attorney, said if a deal with Bloomington Transit could not be worked out, the county would make sure public transportation to the site was available through rural transit or other means. He says one of the main reasons the site was chosen was its location.
We got to this site primarily because of the buffer. The tree buffer. We think that is excellent because honestly, if people don't want to live by a jail, and I can't blame them.
The environmental considerations are based on the fact that much of the land is in a karst region. The site was used as a staging area during the construction of I-69, and that led to some flooding on neighboring properties that continues to this day. Duncan Campbell owns 32 acres on the north side of the proposed site. He's worried about the impact the site would have on the water table and noted other projects that have been proposed for the area but didn't go through because of environmental concerns.
We've seen well contamination from disruption, other disruption, and it's concerning to me that adequate protections can happen in a terrain that is almost unmappable.
Thomas says they were aware of the flooding caused by the construction of I-69 and vowed to work to fix those issues if the jail is approved.
We are dedicated to ensuring that the retention, the drainage is done appropriately, correctly, and for the long term in a way that's beneficial to folks in the surrounding properties.
Scanlon also noted the potential loss of a large tract of land zoned for mixed-use employment the city could use to lure business, especially one just off an I-69 interchange.
These locations have significant employment and commercial interests, and the completion of I-69 is expected to increase those interests. Interchanges offer key opportunities as premier entry points into Bloomington.
Plan Commission member Chris Cockerham challenged the county to make sure there was enough mixed-use employment plots in their new county development ordinance to make up for the lost land. Thomas says that wouldn't be an issue. She says the county has contracted for geological studies and surveys to be done on the proposed site, but those, along with plans for the actual jail and other structures on the site, remain in limbo until the commission makes its decision on rezoning the property.
There's a lot of chicken and egg that goes on in these situations, and that's okay.
And if the Plan Commission rejects the rezoning?
We have some options out there, but this is the only piece of property of this size vacant and for sale in the city of Bloomington.
For Indiana News Desk, I'm Pat Bean.
The Plan Commission will meet on the jail site again next month and decide whether or not to approve rezoning.